those guys out in Oregon that took over that government federal building, they're out there now doing it. One of them said, well, finally we're getting some good use out of a public building out here where they've taken over the building, something to do with Bureau of Land Management and the ranchers.
What do you mean they're taking over the building? What does that literally mean? They actually took the building?
They're all armed and they've taken possession of the building out there.
I've never heard of that. And those people are still doing it?
Yeah, it's going on right now out there.
How long have they done this?
It's just been in the news the last couple of days. It's all about that Bundy.
The Bundys were in Nevada. You're saying this is Oregon, though, huh?
Yeah, it's the 3 Bundy brothers that are up there in Oregon.
So now they're doing it in Oregon because, I'm telling you, the Bundys were in Nevada. They were up in the coast.
Yeah.
They were in Nevada.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because my wife was, they were pitching about the land management tortoise program, the tortoise patrol program. My wife was actually part of those crazy Indians that were part of that tortoise patrol program. They were actually going out there saving desert tortoises and, messing with ranchers like the Bundys. My wife was one of those crazy Indians that were doing that. So, yeah, I know what they're talking about. I lived out there in Nevada when that stuff was going down in the 90s. So now they moved over to Oregon, and they're taking over an Oregon courthouse, you're saying?
Yeah, it's a wildlife area, kind of like in the middle of the state, and it's a federal wildlife building that they've got. They're armed and all that. And they're out there.
Wow. I never heard of that, man. I don't understand what they're doing. See, this is what I tried to talk to the man, and I guess it's impossible to get through these kind of people. I've been trying to tell them, you could accomplish all you want with a piece of paper. I don't understand why you people believe you have to use guns. I said, I'm at a loss. These people will recognize the paperwork if you do it properly. I said, why don't you just learn how to master the judicial system we have in this nation instead of just getting all pissy pants and just taking up a gun and saying, oh, I want to point it at somebody else's son or daughter.
Hey, Carl?
Yeah. Who's this?
Apparently, this is Kevin. Apparently, the reason that this is all happening right now over in Oregon was there were 2 ranchers that got jailed 5 years ago for using the land, and they were charged and sent to prison for 5 years, and they just were released. And another judge felt like they didn't serve enough time and re-sentenced them for the same crime.
That's crazy, man. You're kidding me.
No, I'm not. That's what happened, and that's why they all got together and they went over there and they took over that small little part, and they say that they're going to stay there indefinitely. It's pretty.
So that judge who did that, why didn't they file a claim against that judge?
I don't know.
All they had to do was say the judge did that to me, and I'd just say, I, a man, Karl Lentz, claimed the wrong of trespass, and I'd go again and say that the man that he brought false claim into the public. He charged me, he made a false claim, against I and to the public. The original trial, I guarantee, at the course of the original trial, nobody ever came forth with actual bill for damages. So if there's no damages, the government actually had no case. So they should have went and said the man acting as a judge committed a trespass because he knows that the claim against us 5 years ago was a false claim because no damages was ever brought forth into the public. We have never done anything wrong. Nobody has ever come forth and testified that there was damages. Without damages, there's no case. It's a maximum law. You can Google it. Like a maximum law, no damages, no case. So I guarantee the government had no damages because if the government did produce the damages, first of all, the guy could just say, well, okay, I'm sorry we did what we did to the National Park Service, and here's compensation for the damages. We're very sorry, and we won't do it again. Or they could have just said, well, we're U.S. citizens, and we have a right to access that public grounds, and if no other person of U.S. citizenry has a claim that we've trespassed it, well, then you have no case as well. You have to bring another U.S. citizen forth to say that I had no right to use these public lands in the manner I did, and if you don't, you have no case as well. You need a victim. Or I'm going to explain it to you guys any simpler. Just because these guys have shitty fucking attorneys, and just because these guys don't know the rule of law, is no reason to have to fucking stand there with a fucking gun. That's exactly what they want. You could do this with paper. It's not hard. Like I said, I teach people how to do this like in 2 seconds. This ain't rocket science.
I think the problem is that there's not enough people that understand exactly everything that's going on yet.
But there's not everything to understand. All I need to know is there damages, tender me the bill, and I'll compensate. Or if there's another U.S. citizen that also have access to this park land, like I believed I did, if he wants to make a claim for compensation that I've done him wrong, I'll pay him. If you don't have those two elements, you have no fucking case. If one of those elements are missing, you don't have a fucking case. So why didn't they have an attorney just say, hey, look, those elements are missing, Your Honor. Honestly, the fucking government has no fucking case against these people. You got to let them go. Just because they had shitty attorneys and because they wanted to be the world's greatest rancher and they didn't spend 10 minutes of their life fucking learning right from wrong and how this government works, there's no reason to take up a gun and say, you know what, we're going to fucking solve this with a gun. Like I said, they could find somebody like me and say, look, this is all you got to do. Write these 2 sentences into the court and let the court answer. The court will never be able to answer. Then the court can never move. And then you're free to stay indefinitely. Why? Because until they answer, that's the rules of court, they can't move. You pin them. You trap them in a corner. Ask them, where's the claim for damages? Is there a damage here? No, well, no. Let the prosecutor fucking flip through his fucking envelope. Damages? You know, one of the most critical elements of any case is there must be damages because man, like Karl Lentz, does fucking wrong 24/7, 365. Karl Lentz makes errors 24/7, 365 his whole entire life. But as long as I don't damage anybody, I could keep making all the mistakes in the world. I could keep doing everything wrong in the world as long as I'm not trespassing upon another man while I'm doing what I'm doing. Everything I'm doing is illegal. Everything I'm doing is wrong. So what? When there's damages, I'll compensate. Until there's damages, I don't give a bloody hell what you think. Oh, Karl, what are you doing, Karl? You're doing it wrong. Well, what? I'm fixing my fuel pumps. Yeah, it's Karl, you're doing it to the bed of your truck. You cut a hole in the bed of your truck. Karl, you're supposed to take the straps down and drain all the gas out and do it that way. Well, I don't want to do it that way. Well, Karl, that's the right way to do it. That's what the owner's manual says. Well, you know what? Fuck the owner's manual. I'm doing it this way. Well, Karl, you just made a hole in your truck. And? So what? Oh, Karl, it's not the right way to do it. Hey, look, you do it your way, I'll do it my way. Well, you know, OSHA says, you know, and there should supposed to be some rules of make this, specialty equipment manufacturer of the United States recommends that you don't do it that way, Karl. Like, oh, great. I took their recommendations into consideration. You know what? I don't give a damn. Well, see, Karl, with an attitude like that, the don't give a damn attitude, see, we got to confine you for your own good. It's like, oh, really? You know, show me the damages by me doing what I did to that truck. Well, Karl, you know, it's not just your truck, it's society's truck, Karl. Everybody has the right to use and enjoy that truck at times. You're being very greedy, Karl, by, thinking it's your truck. Oh, really? So somebody else has a vested interest in this, really? Let them bring that claim fucking forth and let me show me where they invested in this truck. Show me where they can tell me what I can and cannot do with this truck. Go ahead. Bring it forth. Bring forth the claim. Well, you know, Karl, that's ridiculous. No, it's not ridiculous. It's the rule of law. Bring it forth. You have no fucking case. I don't give a damn what it is. You can say anything I'm doing. Everything I'm doing is wrong. Yay! I don't give a flying shit. Well, you should, Karl. You should. Well, you know what? I don't. And is there any law that fucking makes me have to do it your way? No, I'm self-governing. Well, Karl, if you're self-governing, Karl, that's anarchy. You don't believe anybody has authority over you? Oh, authority literally means a dictator? No, I don't believe there's a dictator over me. Well, Karl, you ever seen how a problem with authoritarian control? Authoritarian literally means imposed orders compared to freedom. Yeah, I have a problem with you imposing your orders upon me. You could voluntarily place those orders upon me, and I may or may not carry them out, but don't you dare think you're going to impose orders on me. I'm not your sonny boy. And I don't know how these guys, these free man motherfuckers, can't just listen to somebody like me for 10, 20 minutes and say, holy shit, that makes so much sense. Why aren't we doing it Karl's way? My way. I'm doing it caveman's way. Somebody told me, man, they talked to somebody from Ethiopia or Nigeria or Sudan who doesn't know how to read or write. And he said, Karl, you know what? I talked to that man, and he sounds exactly like you, Karl. Everything he believes sounds exactly like you. I said, that's right. That's just I'm taking back the caveman day. I'm taking down the jungle days. This is the way I'm doing it. I'm doing it the way it's always been done for thousands of years. That's all I'm doing, guys. You can find some black guy in the outback in the Africa jungle somewhere and, talk to him, and he's like, holy shit, he sounds just like you, Karl. I said, yeah, isn't that amazing? That somebody who can read and write sounds exactly like me. And I'm supposed to be so fucking intelligent. I'm supposed to be so smart. How come all these other people that live out in the jungle are so freaking smart too? How did that miracle happen? Because it's basic and simple. It's rule of law. It's survival of the fittest. It's all of Darwinian. It's so simple. Like I say, it's so simple it's scary. And you guys are just making it so freaking complicated. I guarantee a guy in Sudan or whatever could say, what do you mean this is a National Park Service land? Wait a second. It's the jungle. It's God's land. We all use it. We've been using it for thousands of years. We all run our cattle across here, or our gazelle or our elk through here. We all run our, caribou, whatever we got going on. We've been doing this. Well, you can't do it now because the government said you can't. Well, I don't explain to you. We've been doing this forever, and we're going to keep doing it. Well, now it's owned by some Dutch company. Well, I explained to the Dutch, whatever the fucking Dutch is, but we ain't going nowhere. And if you want to make a claim that I've done something wrong, you come forth and you make a claim to our tribal elders like we've been doing since time began. And they'll tell you, you're nuts. Well, we got a piece of paper from the Pope and the Queen of England saying it's now a Dutch company. Well, I don't know what this Pope or Queen is, but this is the way we've lived for tens of thousands of years, and we don't have any paper, and we don't even know what a piece of paper is. So, honestly, let us be. And like I said, it's thank God, man, they still believe in the rule of law here in this land. If their king or queen or pope trespasses upon a man, you could still get compensation for the trespass. Or we're going to find out if that whole rule of law is totally collapsed, because that's what I'm moving to court, to see if that whole rule of law is gone, if we don't live in that land anymore. Like I told the U.S. Marshals, maybe we live in that land, maybe we don't. Maybe I'm just this whimsical thought that we still have, free will, and that the government doesn't own our children and doesn't control every aspect of our life. Maybe. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I said, I'll find out. I said, you got to believe I'm going to test the courts and see what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. I'm going to do my damnedest to see how this is going to work out. I said, I'll do my best. I said, I'll be as honorable as I can and as mellow as I can and just try to do it as logically as I can without any violence and see how this plays out. Tell the violent people they should just back off. Until the violent people say, wow, they fucking took down Karl. He was the most mellowest fucking guy there was, and they took him down. Oh, well, all bets off. Let's do this, guys. And then they go say, well, I tried, guys. That's what I said to U.S. Marshals. I'm trying my damnedest to keep this civil. That I'm doing the damnedest I can. I said, yes, the government damn flat out stole my about it. I said, they put some other family safety plan in my case file and said that the mom and dad were committed domestic violence. I said, no, that was a domestic violence safety plan for another family for a 3-year-old girl, 4-year-old girl named Brittany Anderson. I said, and her dad was the victim of domestic violence. The dad got his ass kicked by the mom and her family when they came and got the kid from him, when he had the kid living with him. And the mom went home drunk. And the family said, you don't leave that baby behind, you bring that baby here. And then the dad stood up and said, no, you're not coming to my apartment taking the kid. When she sobers up, she'd come back home. But no, that kid stays here with me. He had to dial 911. He had to get the cops down there to help him. So that safety plan that's in the case file with my kids and me, that has to do with some poor guy named Scotty Anderson that lived for another 2-3 years before he committed suicide. So when people give me any crap, I said, oh, you don't think that's true? Google fucking Scott Anderson, basically probably about 48, 50 years old. He had a daughter named Brittany Anderson, who was probably about 6, 7, 8 years old when he committed suicide in the Birmingham newspapers. And tell me that I'm not telling you it's true. And then some people are like, well, why didn't you mention that in your lawsuit about the Andersons? I said, because the Andersons, there's a whole other family that's got nothing to do with me. The government just stuck somebody else's case file in there, somebody else's safety plan or contract to have the child put with somebody else's family, not mine. I said, I'm not going to explain the details about some poor guy who wound up killing himself because he broke his heart losing his daughter. So like I said, it's a lot of interesting, stories that happened over the course of these years, between me and the government. And still, I'm still trying to do it with paper, pen, and ink. I'm still trying to do it non-violently. And I want to see if it'll work. I'm hoping it works non-violently. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my damnedest to see if they respect the rule of law. I'm trying to see, it's like, look, I'm the most confident bastard when it comes to this stuff on planet Earth right now. I just happen to, have all my brain, cells still firing on all 8 cylinders. Not like my truck, which is giving me a pain in the ass right now.